Breaking news to bring you now. We are hearing from the High Court that the Bell Hotel can continue to house asylum seekers. This is following Epping Forest District Council failing to secure a High Court injunction that would have blocked asylum seekers from living at the Bell Hotel. Let's bring in our correspondent, Amelia Harper, who can bring us more on this. Amelia.
Yeah, well, we have in the last few moments just had this High Court judgment, and they have decided that the Bell Hotel in Epping can continue to house asylum seekers. This was a judgment that was handed down from the High Court in terms of the legal dispute over the Bell Hotel in Epping, which has been used by the Home Office to house asylum seekers. This, you may remember, was the hotel that became the focus of protests and counter-protests after an asylum seeker sexually assaulted a teenager back in July. And the judge, Mr. Justice Mould, has ruled in favour of the Home Office and of the hotel, which means they are allowed to continue housing asylum seekers there. And it has dismissed the claim from Epping Forest District Council. In terms of how we got here, it's a little bit complicated, but we'll keep it simple. So Epping Forest District Council took legal action against Somani Hotels. They own the Bell Hotel. They claimed that accommodating asylum seekers breaches planning rules. They said they needed planning permission to house around 95 single adult male asylum seekers at the Bell. But the hotel owners disagreed. They said that the building was doing what a hotel does, simply housing people there on a short-term or temporary basis. The Home Office also got involved in this claim. They opposed the council's legal action alongside Somani Hotels. Then we had, in August, Epping Forest District Council asked the High Court for an injunction. Now, this injunction was a temporary legal order that briefly requires the hotel essentially to stop for a temporary period housing asylum seekers whilst this planning dispute was decided on. It was granted, but then quickly overturned by the Court of Appeal. Then the council tried again, this time asking the High Court for a new final injunction to stop asylum seekers being housed there for good. A hearing was then heard in October, and we've had the judgment handed down today. The High Court has dismissed the claim from the council. They have decided that asylum seekers can be housed there. An interesting quote from the judgment, it says, "The judge finds that weighing significantly against the grant of an injunction is the continuing need to provide accommodation for asylum seekers with pending asylum claims so that the Home Secretary can fulfil her statutory duties under immigration and asylum legislation." Now, there is a question about whether this judgment affects other hotels that are being used to house asylum seekers. And the question kind of is answered by yes and a no. There is certainly a case that this will be cited by courts in the future. It is quite a pivotal moment, but we must remember that this was a decision that was made based on the merits of this specific case and therefore can't be extrapolated more widely to asylum hotels. What happens next? Well, Epping Council can appeal. They have to do so within around 21 days. Ahead of this judgment today, they will have been deciding with their legal team what to do if they do lose that. But the news today now that asylum seekers can continue to be housed there.